left his mark on the church and made lifelong friends. 5 years after DupageUU Church friend Laureen Keener had moved to Beacon Hill Retirement Village, Elliot decided to take her up on her recommendation and move there also. He loved it. Sally Friedman and her husband Art owned a vacation spot, Hidden View, in Newaygo, Michigan, on the Muskegon River. In 1977, they offered the first all-church campout for DupageUU Church members and families, including members, the Gainos, the Drakes, the Atkins, in the inaugural camping group. As Jane Gaino recalls, we arrived not knowing a soul and left with many new friends. Joe Gaino would help Art with carting canoes and tubes and people from the landing back to the campsite. Sally always made sure there were cookies on the front seat for Art and Joe. The campouts continued, and many church families over the years joined and enjoyed the event. Even as the Friedmans moved to the East Coast to be near Art's work, families at the church devised a limited partnership with the Friedmans so that all could continue to enjoy Hidden View. The all-church campouts continued until 1996, when Hidden View was sold. In the 1970s, before formal curricula were available from the UUA, Sally agreed to co-chair the RE department with Jane Gaino. Sally wrote all the curriculum material, and Jane enlisted the teachers. The Friedmans returned to the Midwest several years ago and immediately resumed their membership at DupageUU Church. Carrie Friedman, their daughter, notes that the church was an important foundation of her parents' lives. They not only valued the individual friends and acquaintances that they met here, but also the feeling of fellowship the church gave them. They were great advocates for social justice, and the fellowship of the church supported them in that goal. We are so happy to have known these members and their decades-long commitments to this church and to the friendships that help make this a truly beloved community. Thank you.
The work of this church would not be possible without all of our amazing volunteers. If you have done any of the following things, please stand to be recognized and remain standing. If you have chaired a committee, attended a committee meeting, should take care of everybody, right? Made coffee on Sunday morning, counted the offering, if you are a steward, if you help plan or execute an event, if you brought food for an event, if you cleaned up after a potluck or an event, if you cleaned on one of the beloved community all-church cleanup days, if you sorted styrofoam or composted, if you worked in the garden, if you performed a piece of music, if you volunteered for the art fair, if you donated something to the auction or volunteered at the auction, if you taught RE or worked with our youth, if you led or participated in a forum, if you worked in AV, we see you up there, AV Loft. If you fixed or repaired something. Had to get George, right?
He could have stood like 10 times.
I know. Or if you have attended an annual meeting where you are today.
Yes.
Look around at the people that are standing. This is what makes our church work. Thank you all for your time and for your dedication. Please grab a volunteer sticker on your way out and wear it with pride. Hello.
Every year, we like to recognize those volunteers that go above and beyond the volunteer work to help make this congregation a better place. When the Congregational Life Committee received the nomination for these two people together, we couldn't think of a reason not to pick them as outstanding volunteers. While they both have always gone above and beyond, their extremely hard work this year has not gone without notice. The outstanding volunteers for this year are Kat Gelder and Kelly Trombley-Freitag. Could you please? Jenny Hobbs will now come up and read to us all why she nominated these two wonderful ladies for Outstanding Volunteer of the Year.
Above and beyond is an understatement to describe Kat and Kelly's commitment to our church community this year. Although much of their work is behind the scenes, it is absolutely foundational to the worship experience of this church. As the leadership of the Sunday Services Committee, Kat and Kelly have dedicated countless hours to creating an outstanding Sunday morning experience for our community. Knowing that we would be working with many guest ministers, Kelly and Kat developed a comprehensive set of expectations for volunteer service coordinators that helped create a seamless and welcoming experience for our guest preachers and supported the volunteers coordinating the services.
That was Kelly.
They sourced and communicated with guest speakers from a wide variety of backgrounds and filled our pulpit with interesting and engaging speakers. Additionally, they spent many hours coordinating with the music committee and finding musicians for the services when Bonnie unexpectedly went on medical leave. Additionally, Kat personally helped coordinate several memorials that occurred over the course of this year, which is well beyond her job description and was instrumental in helping these families navigate a difficult day. I am personally deeply grateful to them both for their involvement over this year and credit them with helping us navigate this unusual time in our church. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you all. I would now like to invite Mary Hamill, member of the Accessibility and Inclusion Ministry Task Force, to give their report. Welcome, Mary. I had it printed here for you, or you feel free to use your papers. This one's
Big font, thank you. Well, as introduced, I'm Mary Hamill, and I'm here to share the progress your AIM, Accessibility and Inclusion Ministry, has made over the past year. Your AIM task force consists of Karen Seymour Els, Steve Cooper, Kristen Tang, Jamie Smith, and me. Along the way, we have had the assistance and advice from almost every community at DUC, including George Peck and his stellar crew, who made so many of the projects happen. Over 70 people have provided input in the process. The AIM credentialing program is a congregational program focused on welcoming, embracing, integrating, and supporting people with visible and invisible disabilities and their families in our congregations. Our group has successfully guided our church through the submission of Phase 1 and Phase 2 paperwork, and have been approved to start Phase 3. If you'd like to know more about the process, you can go to the uua.org website and search for AIM. The first item will be the webpage you see to my right. The shorthand of this is, Phase 1 was an audit of our current status. We gathered information from individuals and committees asking for input to incorporate into an assessment of what we were doing well and potential areas for improvement when examining both accessibility and inclusion. Phase 2 is setting priorities and creating an action plan. This plan was closely examined by the UUA AIM team, and feedback is provided to our task force. Once you've come to an agreement, they approve you to start Phase 3. Phase 3, this is where the best things happen. We start enacting the plan that brings you the kind of changes you have seen throughout the church over the past year. Here are some of the things you might have seen. High chairs. Ooh, food labeling. Our new accessible concrete patio. Things that make us friendlier to our visitors. Lighting our sign. Updating our website, citing accessibility and inclusion information. Bathrooms were most often cited problem areas. So, cane hooks were installed, perch shelves were installed, unscented soaps were provided, and signs were installed letting users know that they were welcome to use whichever restroom best suited their needs. Things that might have been installed without you noticing unless you needed included arms with chairs that are easier to get in and out of, a hearing loop to improve access for those with hearing loss, evacuation chairs to aid those with reduced mobility at each stairwell in an emergency, which we hope we will never need to use. So now we'll learn a little bit more about the hearing loop. He's still there! Woohoo! That crack team made it look so easy. Little happens overnight. Ezra took a little break there too. So what's next? Phase 3. We have a few projects to continue working on. We have a lot of paperwork to do to document those projects. We have committed to doing a yearly service to keep our accessibility and inclusion work foremost in our thoughts and in our actions. We have a variety of workshops we will hold throughout this year to continue our education efforts and involve our membership as much as possible. What can you do? Become an accessibility and inclusion consultant. We're going to come up with a good name for that. Help us identify areas where we can continue to improve as a congregation. The UU AIM team loves it when we document our collaboration with individuals with disabilities so that they know we are taking the needs of our members into consideration when making our action plan. Attend our workshops and services when you see we are holding them. We can't win your hearts and minds if you aren't present. And thanks to everyone for your support and collaboration as we move forward.
So we are proud to announce, as you may have heard, that DUUC has been recognized by the UUA Congregational Life Group as a breakthrough congregation for our work with the SMILE project. DUUC Smile Project will be honored at GA this summer and will be featured in the UU World magazine this year. So congratulations to DUUC and the Smile Project, and would anyone from the Smile Project team please join me up front? Who do we have here today? Oh, there's Cheryl. Come on, Cheryl. Yes, please. I know Maggie and Ken are out of town, so here's Cheryl and some other folks. Please come on up.
Yes, please.
Last September, the Social Justice Committee submitted the Smile Project story to the UUA for consideration as a breakthrough congregation. The UUA Congregational Life Group revamped the breakthrough process this year to focus less on congregational growth, per se, and more on highlighting stories like Smile of leading changes that lend vitality to congregations and the communities they serve, stories that other congregations can learn from. In particular, they were looking for breakthrough examples of serving groups of people who are currently underserved, clearly identifying their needs and describing what a congregation has to do differently to meet those needs. The Smile Project met this focus while also incorporating 5 of our 7 principles. So thank you to all of the people, not just from the Smile Committee, but the entire Social Justice Committee that have spent countless hours working with students, with employers, and working with mentors to create a program that has truly changed the lives of the participants. Thank you all. Come on up here, right here. Everyone, it's Molly.
Hello, everyone. I'm standing here because I want to thank from the depths of my heart Cheryl Clayton for the countless hours that she has spent on Smile. I know some of what she has done, but I have an idea of everything she's done behind the scenes, which is enormous. And I'm thanking Cheryl especially for the beautiful event that she and others, but she primarily produced yesterday to introduce the intern students to their employers. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Molly.
This is a total surprise to me, but I want everybody to stand up in here who has contributed to this wonderful project in any way whatsoever. We have met our financial goal, and I know all of you have contributed, so stand up. This is great.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, everyone. We have a special video message from the UUA president, the Reverend Susan Frederick Gray, so we're going to watch that. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Susan Frederick Gray, President of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and I am so pleased to congratulate you, DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church, on your selection as a 2019 Breakthrough Congregation. I am especially inspired by your courageous and caring work to understand the circumstances of children in your community, to center the experiences and ideas of others like the Proviso Township Ministerial Alliance Clergy Group, and then invite so many people in your congregation to be a part of the project. Yours is a terrific model for leading effective change and breaking down barriers across communities. It is new ways of thinking and innovating like yours that spread the life-giving message of Unitarian Universalism. In sharing your innovation, we hope to encourage other Unitarian Universalist congregations to take similar risks and rise to the challenges and the opportunities of our times. Again, on behalf of everyone here at the UUA and your larger family of faith, congratulations on being a 2019 Breakthrough Congregation.
The UUA does stream portions of General Assembly, including the portion where they will be having the service recognizing the breakthrough congregations. So if you go on the UUA website and search for GA, you can find out how to stream that from home, or Kelly Trombley Freitag has volunteered to set up a streaming party here at church. So she posted about it, I think, in the newsletter, and if anyone just wants to reach out to Kelly, if you're interested in gathering here together, she's going to set up a viewing party for both that and the service of the living tradition, where they're going to recognize newly credentialed religious educators. Yeah, if you want to come, you got to let her know. Otherwise, she's not going to show up by herself. So thank you to everyone on the SMILE team and the entire Social Justice Committee for the hard work on the SMILE project. I would now like to invite Ann Ariano back up. She's our outreach trustee, and she's going to give a report regarding our move to a single service.
So as you see with this summary slide here, we received 133 survey responses. We sent out a survey around a single service, and 133 responses. We asked for a family response. We have about 178 families. It's about a 75% response. I've sent out a few surveys in my career and never, ever, ever gotten a 75% response rate. So I think it was clear that this was something that touched most people in the congregation, and they wanted to have their voice heard. So as you know, the response to the single service survey in April overwhelmingly supported a lineup order of forum, service, coffee hour, or social hour. The start time for forums was nearly a tie between 9 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. Last month, with board discussion and at Coffee with the Board sessions, we discussed moving forward with a compromise of 9:15 for the general start time of forums. We also discussed that if Science Sunday or any other forum believes it will run long, we can inform the forum organizers that they can schedule and communicate via the normal ways to let people know that the forum will start a little bit earlier. We have added a 15-minute transition time from 10:15 to 10:30 between forums and services. That was not identified in the survey, but clearly is needed. As an aside, there was only one open field comment with a wish to retain 2 services. In survey comments and during conversation with many members this past year, there's strong support for a single service at this time. Also, staff, such as religious education, congregational life, music, and key Sunday morning activity leaders, greeters, coffee, AV tech, Sunday services, are on board with this change. Well, there are a few points raised that we can discuss and address, such as parking, children's activities during forums, and that sort of thing. There seems to be nothing that would preclude us from moving forward with this at this time. We have agreed that we will monitor and gather feedback and assess how this is working. There's nothing to prevent us also from tweaking this as we move along in this next calendar year, or this next church year. With all that in mind, the board has approved the change to one service with the underlying understanding that this change includes all that accompanies it, such as RE and other activities previously discussed. Beginning with in-gathering on September 15th, the schedule will now consist of a single Sunday service at 10:30 a.m., with forums held before the service at 9:15, and a single social hour to follow the service. And as you have noted also, as we routinely hold our summer services as a single service offering, we have designated the time for those Sunday services to begin at 10:30, so there will be a seamless transition between summer Sunday services at 10:30 and fall and winter and spring Sunday services also at 10:30. The only thing different in the fall will be that forums will begin beforehand at 9:15. Thank you for that, and thank you for everybody who responded to the survey. I would like now to invite up Karen Seymour-Ells, our board clerk and interim search committee chairperson, to give a report on the interim search.
I want to start by making a point today of thanking once again our interim search task force. I think we got a little tiny taste of what it's like to be on search committee. So I also want to honor everyone who has ever been on a search committee before. Thank you to all of you. It is a huge time commitment. We worked on multiple Sundays and then pretty much every night for a couple of weeks to pull this off in the very tight time frame that the UUA gives that. When I agreed to lead this search, I did that knowing I had an excellent group to work with. They had very diverse perspectives and experiences within our congregation, and I really do feel confident that we made a thoughtful, informed decision. Paul Selnow, Kelly Trombley-Freitag, Sarah Rubin, and Becky Trombley-Freitag, thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Everyone was instrumental to the process, and our group made a decision from the start to only say yes to a candidate if all of us agreed that this was a person who could lead us through the next 2 years. And we were really fortunate to have a healthy number of applicants, and even more fortunate to have one of our yes choices pick us as their first choice for a church. By now, you've probably read this news. You've seen a blurb in the mini minutes or an email blast. I know a number of you have taken some time and Googled his name. And you're all going to have a chance to meet him at the All-Church Congregational Life Party on August 3rd. More information will be coming on that. So now, I would like to properly introduce you to the Reverend Mike Walker, the DUC interim minister who will be starting with us on August 1st.
Hello and greetings, UUs at DupageUU Church in the greater Chicagoland area. I'm the Reverend Michael Walker. Most folks call me Mike. Please feel free to do the same. I'm currently serving as an interim minister in a town very close to where I grew up. I'm in Auburn, California, where they have successfully concluded their search process and just called their next settled minister. I am very honored and excited to have been invited and to have this opportunity now to come and spend the next 2 years with you so that you and your congregation can do the same, to successfully call your next minister. This will be an opportunity for the congregation to learn from the past and to plan for your future. I look forward to facilitating dialogue and events and having chances to get to know each other and to build community and to create a sense of healing and hopefulness. My style of leadership is collaborative, so I will be eager to work with all of you lay leaders out there, many of you watching this, hello. I'm looking forward to learning about your work, your committees and programs and all of your ideas, and about the unique culture and customs there at DuPage, and we can build from there. My partner Glenn and I will be moving to your area in July, and I will start work with you on August 1st. In the meanwhile, if any of you happen to be going to sunny Spokane for the General Assembly, I'll be there, and I hope that we can have a chance to meet. I can be found with the UUA nominating committee. I'm a member of that group, so I may be at their table from time to time or at their events. Otherwise, perhaps delegates there who are coming to GA can reach out to me and we can set up a chance to meet. I'd love to do that. In the meanwhile, I hope all of you have a wonderful summer. I am really looking forward to getting to know you soon. And until then, take care and be well.
I'm so excited for a number of reasons. Okay, the next thing I was asked to do was talk about another recognition we'd like to make. 14 years ago, when Steve Cooper became the Director of Religious Education at DupageUU Church, it was with the understanding that when things had settled down, He would seek his credentialing as a religious educator through the UUA. I don't know if any of you have ever noticed the church settling down. You can't even apply for the program the first 2 years you work as a DRE. When those 2 years came to a close, the minister at the time might have asked him to lead the building project for the new sanctuary, thinking it would take a predicted 2 years, and that project might have taken 6 instead. There were always fires to put out, and there were always new programs to launch. And a couple of years ago, with the help of some of his friends, Steve realized there would always be fires to put out and the perfect time would never come. And with the support of his committee, church leadership, and his professional associates, he started the program. 2 weeks from now, Steve will walk across the stage and be recognized by his professional colleagues and the UUA as a credentialed religious educator at General Assembly in Spokane, Washington. What this means for us is that we are one of a small number, less than 7% of UU churches that have a DRE who has reached this level of professional recognition. We are so lucky to have him here with us. Congratulations, Steve. You're done? I think he's just going to smile and wave and go back to it, you know. Thank you, everyone.
So at the beginning of the annual meeting, I asked some people if they would help me do a reading. If I asked you, would you come up front? Let me turn this around. Don't you love getting volunteered for something just at the last minute? All of these willing people. Yeah, I'll let you know when to go, okay? So this reading is called I Want to Be with People by Dana Worsnop. Often people say that they love coming to a place with so many like-minded people. And I know just what they are getting at. And I know that they aren't getting it quite right. I don't want to be with a bunch of people who think just like me.
I want to be with people who inspire one another to follow the call of the Spirit.
I want to be with people who covenant to be honest, engaged, and kind, who strive to keep their promises and hold me to the promises I make.
I want to be with people who give of themselves, who share their hearts and minds and gifts.
I want to be with people who see life as a paradox and don't always rush to resolve it.
I want to be with people who support, encourage, and even challenge each other to higher and more ethical living.
I want to be with people who are willing to walk the tightrope that is life and who will hold my hand as I walk mine.
I want to be with people who let church call them into a different way of being in the world.
I want to be with people who have many names and no name at all for God.
I want to be with independent-minded people of good heart.
I want to be with people who see me in my goodness and dignity, and who also see my failings and foibles, and who still love me.
I want to be in a beloved community where I don't have to think like everyone else to be loved, to be eligible for salvation.
I want to be with people who value compassion, justice, love, and truth, though they have different thoughts and opinions about all sorts of things.
I want to be with people who feel their interconnection with all existence and let it guide their footfalls upon the earth.
I want to be with people who know that human community is often warm and generous, sometimes challenging, and almost always a grand adventure.
In short, I want to be with people like you. Please join us and rise and body your spirit and join us in singing hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home. The words will be projected. Thank you, Vera. As we bring to a close our annual meeting, let us be mindful of the enduring bond that keeps us together. Let us remember those who went before and paved the road for us to travel. Let us remember our pioneers with admiration and gratitude and with honor and with joy. Memories are for us to cherish and to share, but the future is for us to mold together. Let us be about that work. Thank you.
Flies home.